Hello my friends, we're gonna do a shaker card today. I've been busy with the holidays, with the Thanksgiving, and also I have been doing a couple of bazaars, so I haven't really had time to make new cards much. I only made one or two, but I kind of did it in between, so I couldn't sit down and do a live. So today I'm gonna do a shaker card. I sold both of the ones I had, a snowflake one, so I'm gonna do one with you. I'll show you how it's done and then you can go from there. So today this is the main die. This is by Impression Obsessions, and it's a die that costs normally almost $20. So the way I bought it is at my local stores at the end of Christmas, like the end of December, beginning of January, they have the dies up to like 70% off. That's when I got it. So, and I know they have it this year again, so they kind of bring it back for Christmas because it's such a cute die. So I'm sure you can find one probably now also in different places, but it's a really beautiful die. It's very intricate, but it's very pretty. So we're gonna work with it today and do a kind of simple shaker card, but it's kind of fun. So let's die cut our main design. I already cut the paper to fit it. Let's get this out of the way first and do a die cut with the die cut machine. So a new trick I learned, I'm going to share with you guys, to use these mats instead of your plastic ones. The ones that are, you can cut as many times as you like. Mine is the memory keeper. It's the perfect size to fit in here. The only problem with it is I need an extra shim. So right under my cutting mats, I have an extra paper shim. That's just a 60-pounder folded in half. And this one is the Precision Base Plate by Sizzix. I use it almost always for especially intricate dies. And this one actually, it has a metal in between them because it's magnetic, like the ruler attaches to it like that, so it doesn't slide off. So this one folds up a little bit more, but you can cut any of the regular mats, or I know there's a different brand that makes big ones that you can use over and over and over and over and over again. Like I've done the hearts, you can kind of see. So, but they're supposed to be self-healing, so. And I can fold it back, like you'll see it in a second when we run this one through. It's probably gonna fold it up, but because it's got the metal, I can fold it right back. I'm gonna tape this with my tape just to make sure nothing shifts and it cuts perfectly. I don't want to have to start all over and cut another piece out, so I'm just gonna tape it all right to my cutting mat to make sure it all stays in place. There's different kinds of tapes you can use. This is just a regular tape, so you're gonna run it through. So my sandwich that I did, everything is closed, and then just like you do any thin die cutting for this one, then I have the shim in there, then I have my precision base plate because it's an intricate die, then my paper, my die, and then a cutting plate on top. You can use the clear ones, but with the precision base plate, it really destroys your cutting mats. So that's why I use this. See how it really puts so much pressure? This one even folded, bent, just like that. See, it worked. But because it's metal, I can just push it right back and it straightens out just perfect. Almost perfectly flat. So that's what I like about it. With this one, because it's so flat, there's a high chance that the paper didn't get cut through the first time. So flip it over, check it, and then put it through again. And this one actually, I'm probably just going to use my actual cutting mat just to make sure it cuts well. It might not be thick enough even with a, let me pull that paper out. It didn't do too good of a job of cutting, so I'm just going to do the normal sandwich that it's supposed to be. Oh, it's a little bit off, so it's getting into my mat. So let me straighten that out and do it one more time. There we go. And I put it flat, that's why the whole cracking thing had just happened. It's better if you put it at an angle, but this time I'm sure it cut way better. I'm going to do it one more time to make sure there's a few spaces right here, right in the middle, that I'm not sure it cut perfectly, but see how intricate it is? So most of it is cut. I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to do it at an angle, and this way the rollers in there are going to hit it better. So I'm going to run it through one more time. Okay, see, because it's at an angle, there was no cracking, it went through just fine, but I am going to double check, make sure on the back that it cut everything through. First of all, we'll take off the frame. We don't need that. It's a beautiful frame, I don't know, might have to use it for something, but see, there's nothing that seems like it might not have cut well. There's nothing that's lighter than the rest of the little lines in there. Kind of like somebody drew black lines everywhere. So that looks like it actually cut. I hope it did. We'll see. So there's going to be a few pieces to clean out in here. So give me a minute to get it all out. Okay, so we're done with the cutting and all of that, so I'm gonna put this away. Start lifting it all up. I'm gonna straighten this out, and we're just lifting it up. And the thing is, with some of these, you can save them and use the negative. So if you want, you can piece it later if you want to. Pull this. Or you can use these to add and make snowflakes out of it. That's what I did, I think, with the last time I made these. Some of these are so beautiful, you can just add it in. So get like a lid or a box somewhere to put it in. Put in all those little pieces and you can use them later. So I'm just gonna, look how beautiful that is. I love that blue color. So I'm just gonna pull this gently out without ripping anything. Remember that if you do put double-sided tape on the back, it's going to be much thicker and much harder to cut. Just so you know. There's a lot of somewhat bigger pieces in here. But there's also little ones in here, like this. In there. The snowflakes are attached to each other, so remember that as you're pulling it out too. Okay, it looks like I got them all. So see how these are, you can match them up, cut them up, and make snowflakes out of them. So don't throw that away, you can use that. I'm just going to put that away. We're not going to do that today, so let's get this die out of the way. So the next thing I was going to tell you. So here's what it looks like. Beautiful, isn't it? gorgeous. And I have that sparkly paper, so it adds even more sparkly beauty to it. I have two different embossing folders I used. So this is the Gemini. Let me see if I can put it in something white. Yeah, there it goes. Gemini, and it's got the snowflakes on here. So this is the one when it's done on white. It's gorgeous. But remember, the sandwich is different if you're using the Big Shot or the Big Cake. The sandwich is going to be different than normal if it's a 3D folder. So just keep that in mind. Actually, this one I don't think was a 3D, but if you are using any kind of a 3D folder, so remember that. And I also did Doris Snow polka dot one, this one right here. So I couldn't make up my mind exactly what I want to do. Might make two different cards, one with snowflakes in the background, one with the snow. Because here's what the snow looks like. So it kind of matches the theme. And then I think I'm going to stick with the snowflakes though, just for the fun of it. And we're going to just stay snowflakes with snowflakes. So here's this one. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue the white paper on here first. And we do it the regular way with tapes, or you can use the glue, whatever you like. Also, by the way, the debossed is just as beautiful as the front. So if I flip it over, it's like indented in there, but it's just as beautiful. But we're going to use it the way it's intended to be, with them being towards the front. And then the middle, we're just going to use a different kind, just to make sure that between the two they can hold it really well. Press the corners and then start peeling them. My nails are painted, so they're a little thicker than what I'm used to working with. Okay, so we're getting the card base. Make sure it opens the right way. Even though with this one it doesn't really matter too much, but you still want to make sure it's all nice and pretty. And I cut it to the regular size I do on the 5x7 cards, which is basically a quarter off on each side, which makes it, if it's 7, so I do 6 3/4, and this side usually is 5 of the base, so I just do 4 3/4. Okay, so we got the base of the card ready. I mean, the card itself is just beautiful. Just put Merry Christmas and maybe a reindeer and you're done. But we're not going to do that. We're going to stick with the snowflakes and make it even more beautiful. So what I want to do is I want to make it a shaker card. So I'm going to actually trim this to make it fit. And I think the best way I'm going to do that, you can use a rectangle and just cut it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the tape right on here and stick it on and then trim it. I think that's going to be the best way of doing this. And this is the smallest tape that I know that Suquang makes, but maybe there's a smaller one, I don't know. If you want to, you can put a little bit of glue where the snowflakes are, and you can glue it on so not everything is coming off of the acetate also. So like this, you can put some glue here just in a few spots so it doesn't start coming off easily from the acetate. You can always glue the pieces on later if you think you need more glue on there, because they lift up easily. Okay, so we're gonna take, I'm gonna put this on here. Hoping I can see the acetate better this way. And just line it up with one corner. Okay, perfect. Very good. Now, we have this hanging off of here. Maybe see it this way. There's a piece hanging off there and there. So we're just going to trim it right against it. Just like that. Okay, got that side. And it seems to be easier to see it on the white than it is on the blue. So I'm just going to keep cutting it in the back here. There we go. So now we have it on acetate. And if some things are bothering you, you can glue them on later. Or you can glue them now, totally up to you. Like I said, you can even run it through like Xyron or something that you have. But Xyron tends to leave little marks on top, so I don't know. It's up to you. Anyways, so now we're gonna build up a shaker card. First of all, before we do that, the best thing for the little shakers to keep moving around to demagnetize the little acetate. So just put some of the same stuff you use on embossing. Just put some of that. Can't remember what they're called, but this is the same stuff. It's got the little powder in there. It is going to be a little bit dirty, so you can take some of it off if you want to make it more clear. But it's up to you. But basically, if you don't do this with the powder, what happens, all that static, it keeps clinging all the little shaker pieces in there. So okay, clean this off a little. Now we're going to start building our sides. So take a piece this big, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to start trimming it to make it much thinner. But you need to make sure you have walls on the side. Oh, okay. So here's what we're doing. We're putting this and making a wall so the shaker pieces, like glitter or anything else, sequins, anything you're going to put in there, so that it's not going to come out. Okay. Let's do another one. Sometimes you can find foam already really thick, so you don't have to do what I'm doing, where you're trimming it to make it fit. Okay, let's put this right on here. And just the way it is, it's thick enough to make a shaker card, but I'm going to do double layer just to make sure that it's going to be thick enough. So let's get another strip of this. Take off the first layer, covered stuff, and put on another layer of this foam, sticky foam, right on top. And make sure it's really well on there, otherwise it is going to let through whatever you put in to be your shaker part. So make sure it's on there well. Gonna cut the, stick it on. And the piece that came off, just put it on the other side. Not a big deal. Like that. Let's do these sides. Got a few more sides to do here.